If you watch my videos from down at HeroesCon, you realize that I did those very consecutively. Like, I literally did day 1, day 2, and day 3 episodes where I showed you all the creators I got on each day I was down there. And the reason I could do it that way was because that's all I did. I didn't have time to actually look at comic books. It was nothing but creator signings, and it was very easy for me to break the videos down so I could put them out for you guys. But Baltimore this year is very different because I got 90% of my comics signed on day 1. So that left a lot less to do on day 2, and I actually got to get around and start looking at comic books. And if you guys watched my first episode in this series from Baltimore Comic Con, you'll get to see the books that I actually picked up. And that's usually the last thing that I do at a con. So it was odd for me to be able to do that video first and put it out. But we're going to go now and focus on all the comic book creators that I got to sign books from. And what we're going to do today is we're going to start with Walt and Louise Simonson. So sit back, enjoy some of the footage, and then I'll come back and we'll show you some of the books that I got signed.
What we're gonna do is, whoever you got the most books for, stay in line for that, and then what you got the least, we're gonna see if we can get you in to do a quick signing, okay? So you have like 5 books for Walt, stay in line for here, and then for you 2 for Louise. Can you come in here and get these 2 books signed? You follow what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay, so therefore we'll have to get back.
Appreciate that.
We'll wait until both of them are done. Okay? So if you work with us, we can work with you.
Let's go. What's going on is I've got at 4 o'clock, I'm going to be doing stuff at the con. I've got a signing at 4 at the Bad Ideas booth. I have no idea where that is.
It's right there. It's right there. Black thing.
Oh, well, that's what I'm going to do. So at 4 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, I got a panel. At 6 o'clock, I have a panel. At 7 o'clock, the show closes. I'm out of here for dinner. So after a little before 4 o'clock, I'm going to be going. So right now, you guys know my number thumbs? You do not? All right, I'm going to number thumbs. I've numbered 5 already for the guys that are up next to the booth. I'm going to number 5 more. But I don't know how long it's going to take me to get through 10 drawings. And I want to sign stuff that we just have something to sign. So I plan right now, we'll see it work. I'm going to walk in and number 5 more thumbs. And then if you don't have a number, if I've got time for the shows where I have to leave, I'll number 5 more. But that will really depend on how long it takes to get these 5 done, or the 10 done, and a bunch of signed. So I'm going to do 2 sketches, and then I'm going to take 10 people that want stuff signed, so I can get them out of here. And then I'll go back and do 2 more drawings. And then if there's still 10 people who want stuff signed, I'll take the next batch until I have to leave. And then that's the best I can do for you. I'm really sorry.
No, it's okay. We appreciate
You
it.
want a drawing? Give me a thumb.
Yeah, but the lines start there. Oh, okay.
Hey, Walt.
You guys lined up?
Yeah,
How you doing?
pretty good. It's good to see you.
So you're filming all this? Got body cam here.
Am I clear? I am filming, actually. Yeah, it was on, actually. How you doing?
You want Louise to sign these? as well?
Yeah, I'm going to have her sign these.
All right.
Yeah, I think I've got one of her Supermans in there, so you don't have to sign that one, though.
All right.
I got to total them up. Sorry, I didn't do a number on you here. I'm going to have 4 for Louise.
Thank you. That may be the nicest thing said to me thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll total it up here. You keep count? Sorry, she was asking how many I did.
Oh, that's right. Well, it's going to be, there were 4 for Louise. You have $30 for her company. First one's free.
Oh, that's Walter. Lettered by Simonson. Yeah, I didn't letter it. I don't know. That's right. At least I could have just signed it.
Welcome back, comic book fans. It's Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and I hope you enjoyed some of that footage from the beginnings of day 1 there at the Baltimore Comic-Con. And I wanted to show you some of that because I realized as I was talking about putting these videos together, the way I'm going to do this is I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show you a lot of the stuff that's going on at Baltimore Comic-Con. So I did want to start this episode, and I'll probably start the day 2 episode. That'll be the next episode. I'll probably start those off pretty much the same because my experience on day 1 and day 2 are very similar. Day 1, we run in, we get Walt and Louise Simonson. And again, I'm sorry, I don't think I had any footage there of Louise. It does get very, very noisy and people are buzzing in your ear. There's the handler there looking for money, and you're trying to focus talking to the artist, and you've got somebody there sitting there asking for money and trying to figure out how many things you got signed. And then I realized I'm not filming everything, so I apologize for some of that. But day 2 is going to be very similar because I'm going to focus on Chris Claremont, and Chris Claremont will be episode 3. So today it's Walt and Louise Simonson, and it was great getting to see them. It's the first time in over a year, or about a year, because the last time I saw them was in Baltimore here as well. And I didn't have quite as many things as I did last year, and I did get some of those graded last year. I wasn't very happy with it. I probably will work on those at some point, maybe crack out a few. I wasn't really happy with some of those grades, but that's a different story and a different episode at some point. This time, we're going to focus on what we got signed by Walt and Louise. So let's just get into it. How could I not get another copy of Thor 337? Whenever I find a really good copy of this, I always get it. And prices on these have really dropped. Of course, the prices on the CGC, and we'll get to that in a second, have dropped. But if I find a really good copy that I think is a 9.8 candidate, I'm picking these up at these days. I've had some good luck over the last couple of years finding candidates and getting them signed and graded. So, had a copy here. I want to say this came from Infinity Comics. I've got some notes on the back, so I'm double checking. Yeah, I picked this up back in November from Infinity Comics in one of the hipcomic.com auctions. And this was a really nice copy. It's a direct, so it's going to be worth a little bit less. But I wanted to give you some values on this because part of what I do is I do continue picking up some of the same books over and over again. Ones I can keep in a collection, and others I can turn around if I can get that 9.8 or even a 9.6 with a Walt Simonson signature on this and be able to sell that and help pay for a lot of this hobby. 9.8's reason I do this, boy, has it come down, and I know it's a direct, but down to $575. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but boy, is that low. And 9.6 is about $315. Those were the 2 last sales, and these sales are all from the last few months. And sometimes I will give you some prices that I'm going to give you one here on one of the next books that won't be until a few years ago. So we'll talk about that too. But most of the time, it'll be from the last few months. It'll give you an idea of what some of the current prices are. Anyway, great copy on that. It's the only one I had. I haven't picked up one this year at all, but I always continue to look for these. Now, another favorite of mine is Batman 366. Now, Walt did the cover to this, and I'm actually a little surprised because I looked up the price on this. I actually have a 9.6 in my collection signed by Walt, but this one right here, it has a chance. It has a chance of 9.8. 9.8, and this is the surprising part, but this is what I say. It's about when that price and when it got sold. The last one sold that I could find from Go Collect was from 2022, $676. Signed by Walt Simonson. Again, he only did the cover. But it's from 2022, and that's sort of starting at the tail end of the bubble, and so I can't really take that price for granted at this point. So I would seriously doubt that somebody would pay that much at this point. Now, a 9.6, hasn't sold since 2019, and that's $140, and that was before the bubble. So who's to make anything of these prices? I'm just giving you out some of the information the best I can give you. All right, so next up is a classic right here, Fantastic Four 348. Walt was writing Fantastic Four at that point, and Art was doing the art for a couple issues, and this is just this is fan favorite cover right there. You got some of the most popular characters at the time, and this is signed by Walt up here. That's what I got him to sign that, but as you can see, it's got Art and Al Milgrom on there. Now, it's an all Art Adams piece, and Al Milgrom had done some of the inking, but not all the inking in here. And I'd gotten both of them down at Heroes Con this year, and I brought this up to Baltimore, and I had Walt sign it. But I still had another copy, and I got Walt to sign that, as well as getting Art Adams to sign this one as well. I think at least one of these may be a grading candidate, and with the two signatures on there, Al doesn't really add a lot of value, and even though he was in Baltimore, I decided I didn't feel like getting him on here. I ended up just with the two. With the two, it's a 9.8, 226 value dollar book. Not too bad. It's market's down. This used to probably be up a little bit higher. And I also had the second print gold print right there. And I think it's got a tick somewhere. I may just keep this one as a raw. I don't think it's a grading candidate. But I couldn't find any values on this signed by the two artists. And you can see Art right there, and there's Walt up at the top. It actually looks pretty good in black on there, although white would have really popped. I had the paint pens with me. I wish I had spent a little time really dictating what pens I wanted to use, but when you start using those paint pens and you're getting rushed to get books signed and get out of the way, it's a little hard because you don't want to smear the ink or the paint or anything. So I let it go with the black Sharpie. It is what it is. Now, it's the first time I've actually gotten 347 signed, and this is really more the first appearance of that Fantastic Four. And it's a busy cover, but you can see Walt right up here, and Art, where the heck is Art? Yeah, Art's way over here by Sue Storm. This one, I kind of wish both of them had signed in white. That would have looked real good, but both of these signed by Art at Baltimore Comic Con as well. And I will have some more Art Adams in a future episode. We'll see about that. But some good books right there. Got some good value in there if you can get that 9.8. We'll give every one of these books, these here and the next one's coming up, a real good going over and see if anything's going to be a grading candidate. At some point, there will be an episode on that. You know that. I did get Fantastic Four 353 signed. This was a key back during the Loki days, although it doesn't even list it on Go Collect anymore. But was it Owen Wilson played this character? What was the name? I can't remember that on the Loki series. But I picked this up of a Whatnot, even though I'd had this in my PC. I think it's the first time I'd ever gotten Walt to sign this book right there. And then I've had some modern books that Walt signed that he's been doing covers for. What If Donald Duck Had Become the Mighty Thor? And these are more for fun than anything. Giant Thighs Thor #1. He did one of the variant covers. And then we have Godzilla versus Thor. And then lastly, The Immortal Thor #14. All just classic Walt art from present day. It doesn't look that different from the old days, does it? So that was everything that Walt signed by himself. But then I had a handful of books that I needed Louise to sign as well. That Art, I was going to say Art, that Walt had signed too. X Factor 13. I just picked up a really decent copy of this. Now, this isn't a key or anything, but I always love this cover. And doesn't have a lot of value as a 9/8 sign by Walt and Louise. It's about $139. I don't know. I don't even think I would bother to get it graded even if I thought it was a grading candidate. This one, however, may push it up there. It's about $195 if you can get that 9/8. It's X Factor number 26. Got this classic cover right there. I know they're in the battle with Apocalypse at that point. And then lastly, again, this was one of my favorite X Factor covers by Walt. You got Madeline Pryor right there. issue number 37. And both of them have signed all of these books right here. And this one, wow, this one shocked me. There was one that sold this year, but Stan Lee had signed it, so I have to discount that. The last one that sold, it had both signatures, was December of last year, and it went for $450. And I kind of questioned that. That seemed a little outrageous. I don't think this is a key or anything. So that was, yeah, that was a little suspect. Anyway, the last thing I got Louise to sign was a copy of Doomsday, the Man of Steel number 18 here. This, of course, is the first appearance of Doomsday, and that's a pretty good key. The last one that sold on this was sometime this year. 9/8, signed by Louise Simonson, went for $218. So overall, if everything here was a grading candidate as a 9.8, I should say, you'd actually do pretty good. You still have to put a lot of money into getting all of these books verified by JSA and, of course, graded CGC. But you could definitely use every one of these books as an investment book to help pay for some of the hobby or have something really cool in your collection. Either way, it was always great to meet Walt and Louise. But that's not everything. I do have one final thing that Walt had signed, and it will be up here on the wall pretty soon. I did get a print of this right here. It is a print of, let's see if it'll fit. I can't even see it. It is a print of the original art from issue 337. And you can see it looks just like it does when Art created this piece of artwork. This is what it looked like. And some of the artist edition books, this is what the art looks like in here. You can see in here, you can actually see where the whiteout was up there. But here's his signature. And I talked to him about this one, and I asked to have something that would pop off of here. I didn't want just a black Sharpie up here and let that kind of fade in with the art. I wanted red, and he kind of, I don't know, poo-pooed that a little bit. And he said, how about bronze? And I'm going, okay, that's fine. That actually pops off of there fine enough. But I think the red would have really jumped on there personally. Anyway, that was the last thing I've got. And this will be up here on the wall at some point. I don't know what's coming down. Probably this Young Avengers print that's sitting right there. I think that I'm going to take the Jim Chung poster down, and I'll tease that. There's a reason for that. And we'll come up with a future episode where I talk about Jim Chung a little bit and why I want to take that print down. Definitely put Walt up there for sure. But guys, that is it for episode 2 of the Baltimore Comic-Con episodes. Episode 3, the next one coming up, will be Chris Claremont, and it'll be very much like this one here. We're going to do a little show and tell, and it will go a little bit longer because I got a lot of books signed by Chris Claremont as well as some other items. So you'll have to stay tuned for that. But guys, that is it. If you enjoyed today's episode, definitely give me a like, slap that subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the episodes that I put out each and every week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. That may be changing though. After we get finished with these episodes here, I may be slowing it up just a little bit. We may go down to 2 episodes a week. Stay tuned for any news on that. And definitely leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know if you went to the Baltimore Comic-Con this year, if you got to meet Walt and Louise, if you've met them in the past, what have you gotten signed? I'd love to know any and everything that you can give me. So that is it, guys. Have a great day. I will see you for the next episode. Until then, remember, every comic has a story.